Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. This is Martina and I just have to tell you, I think this for me is the most wonderful time of the year. Well, it's not yet Christmas, I know, but it's autumn and I love autumn because I love the mornings when they are chilly but you know that they become warm and the sun comes out and the freshness of these mornings, and then of course the colors. I love the leaves when they turn into orange and burgundy, this Indian summer thing. And of course I do love pumpkins in all forms and shapes and tastes. And well, having said that, and don't talk any longer, I was inspired by autumn to come up with this journal. And the name of this journal of her is Autumn Magic. And so let's dive into it. Here, have a look. That's the cover. That's how she looks. And well, Autumn Magic. And you will see it's a combination of all these wonderful autumn vibes and colors and greens and orangey and also magic. Because I think this is also the time of the year when magic enters our lives or can enter our lives. So, let me tell you a little bit about the cover. I have used this really pretty Gobelin type fabric in this green and brown tones. And then I've had this pretty trim, which I have sewn on this cover. And when you hold it in your hands, it's such a wonderful feeling because it's like velvet and it prevents the journal from slipping. Well, of course, the journal doesn't slip, but it's a nice feeling. And then, of course, I fell in love with this hedgehog, and I love hedgehogs, and they are so cute. And, well, I have put this hedgehog digital, which I have varnished with acrylic paint, in order to make it really resistant. I have sewn it on this burlap, added some decoration here, some further burlap over there, and on the edge I've used different material. I've used this fluffy fur-like trim. I've used some sari silk, which was gifted to me. I've used this other border, and then I also have many years ago I came across, I have been given this this trim, which initially I didn't know what to do with, but it really reminds me of wood, and it perfectly matches this theme. So this is Autumn Magic, and Autumn Magic measures, she's a bit longer, she measures in centimeters. Oh, I don't know because she measures in, I have a cheating sheet. She measures in centimeters 23 times 14, and she has a 3 centimeter spine. But when you open her, she opens up to more than 12 centimeters. And when you turn this into inches, then it's 9 inch times 5.5, and I think this is 1.75 inch spine, and opening up to more about 5 inch alligator mouth. Okay, so without further ado, let's go into it. Just before I do, have a look to this wonderful trim on the edge. This is also in brown, and it shows leaves and it shows flowers. It has been closed. She has been closed with cotton in green. Wonderful. I ripped it so it has this wonderful edge, and you can open her like this, and then you see already the magic unfolding. You see the colors, and you see the pumpkin, and you see the deer. And the pumpkin is a journaling card, a big journaling card, which I have backed with packaging paper, as I tend to do, and I've sewn around it, and I've used orange thread. And this pocket, reminds me also on some tree, on some wood material. So she has 3 signatures and more than 120 pages and a lot of, guess what, ephemera, laces, flip-ups, pockets. Well, you will see. This is number 1 signature, the first one. And I've collaged different things. I've collaged this really pretty digital design from Anton. And I've added these leaves, and then I've also sewn on this sari silk, and I also added some washi tape in this design because I thought it so nicely matches. And when you open it, then you see also from the back side the design paper which I have used shows some pretty decoration. It shows these mushrooms. There will be a lot of mushrooms in this journal, and it also has this wonderful green. And from this side you see this pretty ruffle from sari silk in its full beauty. And on the opposite side you see this really, really pretty, lovely baby deer, which also stems from this designs from Bontic Vintage Designs. And it's so pretty. I cut it out and I've sewn it on. And also some nice green trim. Yeah, I said magic. I said autumn magic. And therefore, what you are going to see in these journals are not only mushrooms and these autumn colors. You also will find some of these fairy houses. And I love them. Again, Bontic Vintage Designs. Really, really pretty. So, then here I have added one of my collaged envelopes, and inside there is this stems from a book. I've forgotten the name, unfortunately. This stems from a book about winter fairies, and I think they perfectly match the theme, and therefore I added it here in this envelope. And on the back side this is another mushroom. And then I also found in one of my old books, I found this page, and it's about Hans Christian Andersen, which was a fairy tale poet, I think a Swedish one. And he, for instance, has written the fairy tale about the Little Mermaid, which has been turned into a well-known Disney film, as you know. And this was a tribute to Hans Christian Andersen for his 100th birthday. And I looked it up, and he was born in 1805. So the book from it, where it stems from, is from 1905. So it's quite old. And I've also coffee dyed it in order to keep the vintage elements even stronger. So what I did in this journal, as I do usually, is not only that I've decorated quite a bit, I've also left, I think, enough room for writing, for adding notes or for further decoration. And in order to be in tune with the autumn colors, I've also not only coffee dyed paper, I have also dyed paper using some Brusho pigments. And this is the ones I have used here. And you see these orangey brown and also a little bit of blue speckles. Then I've added a cotton trim over here, or ruffle over here. And on the next page, what you see is an envelope which I have created by decoupaging, and I've used a napkin which had this heart shape and in this brown colors, because I'm a color girl and I wanted to keep the colors in these autumn tones. And then I've added lace, and I've added this, whatever this is. I think it's nice. It's a little bit rustic, and it matches the theme very well. And when you open it, then you see it has been backed with old music paper, book paper. It's expandable, and inside there is this ex libris showing a deer. And this is also a pocket, and in this pocket, or behind this pocket, or belly band, if you may call it belly band, you see this really pretty autumn scenery with this house and these quilt designs. So you will find some of these quilt designs throughout this journal, because I love the color scheme and I also loved the elements. So also again sewn with some red thread. Of course, butterflies are always in my journal. I think there is no journal without butterfly, and this one is a piece of paper which has been gifted to me as well, and I coffee dyed it, and it's added. And on the back side there are two other butterfly journaling cards, longer journaling cards, just nice decoration, sitting in this fairy house door belly band or pocket. Some stenciling over here. Decoupaging on a coffee dyed paper bag using these orangey, yellowish flower design. And inside there is another journaling card with a mushroom. And on the back side, guess what? I have backed it with some butterflies. I also left the back side of this paper bag not without decoration, so I have added a stamp which I made on old book paper, and it also shows a butterfly and it shows some nice flowers. And here again some more stamping, owl, mushroom, leaves, all the autumn elements on coffee dyed paper. And here a little oak fruit. I don't know the name in English, I have to admit. So some craft paper, some more stamping which I did on this really pretty, I don't know how to call it, rice paper or whatsoever. You really see the different elements in here, and it shows butterflies, and also the saying which it has says, if there was no change, there were no butterflies. And I think this is also a very good motto when you think about life, when you think about everything what happens. Change, as hard as it may be from time to time, is also necessary in order to bring out beauty. So these are my philosophical words. Okay, here I have, because I've pinned this on with a paper pin, and from the back side of course it might tear the other paper, I have just glued an old stamp which shows a mushroom. And this stamp is really old because it stems from the time when Germany was separated in the eastern part and in the western part, and this comes from the eastern part. So some nice paper, some stenciling showing some trees. On the back side you see a plethora of different things, some leaves which I formed into a pocket, and inside this pocket there are different elements, mushrooms, owl, a white deer, which is a magical animal. Here you see a fairy, you see squirrel. The squirrel also has a decoration with some sari silk ruffle, and on the back side you see again some butterflies. And here this is also a fairy, and there's a butterfly, and you can turn it, and then you see another fairy house, and you even see a fairy castle. So there is a lot of magic in this journal, and I can tell you it was so much fun to do. And I really love to dive into the colors, and typically orange is not the color I'm using when I do journals. But in this time, for this journal, it was a must. It was just magic. And you will find some more orange throughout. And what I also did here, and you can see it, I have used also some of you, because I don't have many of them, eco-dyed paper. So you see the leaves in this really pretty yellow, and on the back side you can also see some more leaves. And here another fairy from this fairy book. Isn't she lovely? I also made some collages from different fabrics, which I've glued on here, and I think it's such a nice addition, and it adds interest and it adds beauty to the journal. Another stamping, another fairy pinned with some pretty paper pin, another fairy sticker, and here I have added a page from Edith Holden about Pilze, which means mushrooms, as you can obviously see, and of course the description is in German, and it's about November. November is coming soon, as well as winter is coming soon. Squirrel, leaf, oak fruit. I couldn't help it. I had to add this once upon a time because it's about fairy tale, it's about magic. A little fox over here, and here another pretty fairy in the backside of this paperback. These are the butterflies. This is my self-dyed, brusho-dyed paper. And here you could also use this as something, as another pocket if you want to. I didn't do because it's, as I said, it's quite full already. Some nice brown lace. And this is the back side of this pretty paper. And also here I have added some sari silk and I have added these leaves. Now we come to the signature number 2. And the signature number 2 starts with a very pretty orangey digital paper showing mushrooms. Pretty mushrooms from both sides. Look at this. Isn't this pretty? And I have turned this into a pocket. And inside there is another fairy in the style of Alphonse Mucha. And I have tuned the colors a little bit in order to make it a little bit more orangey. Because initially it was more brownish, but I wanted to stay in tune with this theme over here. So, and this is an autumn scenery. And it also says autumn days. And here I've added some cotton trim. I have added a ruffle from some nice curtain material, which is also in green tones. The inside of this signature is backed with this pretty paper, which I have used before. I mentioned it. And it shows all these different particles. And it's really nice to touch. And then I've added another journaling card showing a fairy house. And it just sits here, and it because of these ruffles it stays. I couldn't help it. I had to also use again this furry trim and this, let's say, wood-like trim as decoration of this page, which I had brusho dyed and also gold dyed a little bit in order to keep this color scheme alive. Yes, but it's not only orangey. Although I told you a lot about orange, it also turns blue because one of the eco-dyed papers which I had had this blue outcome. The leaves turned out blue on this paper, so I thought in order to balance this, I have to use some blue elements over here, and this is some design paper. And I have formed a side pocket, and then of course some mushrooms. No, it's not really mushrooms, it is mushrooms, but it's also a tiny fairy house, which is situated in this mushroom ensemble. And then I have found a fairy calendar. And in this fairy calendar, there were some nice pictures of fairies, but not only that, it's also a nice explanation of fairies. It's about elves or fairies, and it's been explained where they live, what they do, and the other one talks about how can we see fairies. So I thought this is interesting, although it's in German, but it's interesting for anyone who is interested and loves these lovely creatures as much as I do. So turning these eco-dyed paper, and you see on the back side you have this even more impressive pattern of this leaf. And what I did here is I decoupaged for the color, because I wanted to have some brown. I decoupaged a napkin which shows a Kuckucksuhr. I think you say cuckoo clock. And I like it. This is one of these smaller things which I also like to do, and I've added this really pretty, it's a gift wrapping trim. And I like this design very much. And here there's another bookmark, and it also talks about these leaves, this thistle. And it sits behind some sunflowers, because also sunflowers, although they are not in full blossom still, but they are still present. So I have just today I have seen a field full of, well, already dying, but full of sunflowers. So, and here there is another, looks like an envelope, which has also a heart. And the heart, I have made this heart from different layers of paper, so it's quite heavy, and therefore it keeps it shut, or it keeps it closed. And when you open it, what you find here, you find another pretty mushroom, but you also find something else, because when you open it, you see another thing which I have decoupaged, because it's so lovely, and it has mushrooms here. It's two kids which kisses each other. Isn't this sweet? Another smaller pocket. And this is what I mentioned before. It's these quilt design digital paper in these wonderful orangey colors. Another stamping which I did on this pretty paper. Some stickers again I have, because as I said, I pinned it with this paper pin. I have added another stamp. I have added some sticker, some nice paper, some ruffle from sari silk on coffee dyed paper. Here I have used some really green design paper, and I have made a pocket from green lace, which I have coffee dyed because it was really green, very green, and I wanted to tune it down. And inside there is a unicorn as one magical element, magical creature, and another fairy house. And on the opposite side, some pictures or some drawings of leaves and trees sitting in this lace side pocket, also coffee dyed. This is the center spot, and I haven't done anything on the center spot because, as I said, I want to keep it also ready for further decoration or for writing. On the next page, this is a pocket which I have formed from some Edith Holden decoration pictures, and another mushroom and some poppies. Here in this side pocket there sits another envelope, and in this envelope there is this really pretty paper from design or digital paper showing some autumn leaves. And this one I had decoupaged. Some nice trim over here with cotton and orange. Some stenciling. And this one I have just added because of the brown, but it's also a very old element. It stems from a book which was dated 1890 something or 1878 or something, quite old, and it was one of the last pages. And I thought it's just nice because of this brown and also because of the ornaments. And I've attached it with some cotton, coffee dyed cotton, and you can flip it up and, as I say, either further decorate or write. Here you have a busy page, and this busy page becomes even more busy. But let's first look on the right side. What you see here is a tag which is attached, and in this tag there is a pocket, and there are two small, really tiny but very beautiful journaling cards. And this tag is attached on a belly band, and in this belly band, behind this belly band, there is another fairy. And this fairy I have further beautified with some gold waxing. Now let's open this one, because you can open it. And you see another of this really pretty herb pages. And what you see here is, this stems from another book. And the book is called, the title of the book is the Victorian wildflowers of Devon. And Devon is for those of you who are not familiar with it, Devon is a wonderful area in Great Britain, and I had been there one or two times, and it's so lovely. I love it. It's really nice. And also the backside shows some nice pictures. So let's turn this. Again, stamping on old book paper. Butterfly, butterfly, butterfly. Yeah, I can't help it. And some magical item. So I want to put it back. And again, a little fairy here on this, you saw it before, on this eco dyed paper. Another fairy over here, and another collage, which I did from different material, just to beautify it. Here another pocket, another fairy, and mushroom. So I said autumn magic. So this was number 2. Look at the back side, isn't this pretty? This stems from the graphic fairy. And yeah, they have really nice designs, I have to say. Okay, now we come to number 3, and number 3 starts with, you cannot avoid it when you make an autumn-based, autumn-themed journal. You cannot avoid the pumpkins, and I wouldn't like to avoid them. So this is a pumpkin digital paper. I've added some further decoration over here. On the back side, I have used, in order to back it up, I have used some old music paper, and I made some stamping. And I've added a belly band from decoupaged and embossed paper, which I did. And here there's a big mushroom. Again, another fairy house. Some velvet in green. Some nice trim, or some nice ruffle. And these really wonderful autumn colors. And what you see here, this is a pocket which I formed from some chiffon fabric, which also has this 3D flowers, which I also have turned down a little bit in terms of color. I've added some distress ink. And look at the design paper from the inside. It shows mushrooms, it shows a rabbit, it also shows a squirrel, a hedgehog. And what I did here is I made a bookmark, mushroom, and some, I don't know which kind of flower this is, but I thought it looks nice over here. As I mentioned, yeah, sunflowers. Cannot avoid sunflowers even in this season. And also on the back side, some sunflower pocket and a little tag which also shows these wonderful autumn colors, and also some autumn leaves over here. Little birds, stamping on the back side, coffee stenciled paper, sari silk ruffle, another non-orangey page, as I said. It's green, and it shows a tree. It shows a forest. I've added some washi tape in order to further decorate it, and I've also sewn on this really pretty trim with this green and gold. And inside here you see a fairy, a very dreamy fairy. I've used this picture in other journals already, and I love it. It's really pretty. And there is also a magic deer. So this is nice paper. You see my stitching. Whoop. This is stamping on old book paper. This has been formed into a pocket, and also using the autumn colors. And inside there is a nice autumn scenery. Another eco dyed paper. Another coffee dyed paper. I've added some, some stickers over here with these stars and beads and whatsoever in orangey on the back side. This also stems from the calendar from this fairy calendar, and look at this fairy here, and also have a look, there are peacocks around, and some of you might know that I typically have a peacock in each of my, at least one peacock in each of my journals. And it sits on this nice paper, in this belly band, and in this side pocket here you see this a little bit darker autumn themed journaling card with different butterflies, owl, tree, mushroom, and here you have also a magical scenery, I think. This is the trim you have seen before. It's this really pretty design. Washi tape here because I wanted to cover up my sewing. Old book paper, stamping. Yo, pumpkin again. Mushroom again. Edith Holden element. And look at this design paper. Isn't this cute? It shows some trees. Put it back. You can open this one here and you see some butterflies. I took those because of the orangey, of course, and behind it there are some information about some plants. And this one is a paperback which I have decoupaged with this orange colors, and I've used this to form a pocket, and I haven't put anything in this pocket because, as I said, it's already quite full and you can do whatever you wish. Old book paper, stenciled. I think this is not the last, but almost the last pocket. Another pretty fairy house. Another butterfly sitting in this mushroom pocket from Edith Holden. This is again the Eco-Dyed paper. Sticker, crazy deer. Decoration. Nice paper. Decoration again. This is the inside of the third signature. This is the squirrel, as you can see, the hedgehog, some flowers, some plants. A sticker with a fairy tale image. And this is the back side of the signature, the third signature. Look at this, it's so pretty, these leaves and these colors. And I couldn't help it, I had to use another orangey, some more orangey elements as journaling cards as the last thing. Leaves and another quilt scenery sitting in this mushroom pocket. You see also the back side of this journal has been decorated with some lace or trim. This is the back side here. And yeah, what do you think? Isn't this a pretty one? I love it. It was so much fun to do, and maybe I do another one in this. Well, I never repeat. I never copy my own designs. I try to start fresh over from every time I do, but I might stay in this pretty autumn theme, and I might use this pretty Gobelin fabric again. Let's see. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you love autumn as much as I do. Let me know, and if you liked what you saw, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment. Thank you very much. Have a nice day, have a nice week. Bye bye, Martina.